Everyone, it's Kathy, and welcome back here to my craft room and on my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. You see the new catalog is here in front of me. This is our brand new annual catalog. Let me zoom out just a little bit, about like that. The new catalog has left a lot of mixed feelings, but I can't open this yet to show it to you. But when I can, which will be, I believe, May 1st, I will be more than glad at that point to go through this catalog. I'm going to do an entire video on thumbing through this catalog and helping you as the customer understand how to use this new layout. It is a learning curve. Things change, and we are all creatures of habit. We don't like change. With that being said, we're going to work with this new, it's a brand new bundle that is in this new catalog, and it's called Layers of Beauty. And if you love roses, you are going to love this set. It is absolutely breathtaking. So I'm going to put my catalog up, and this is the card that I made using that set, and this is that spray of flowers right there. I did get my sentiment from another stamp set. Which stamp set did I use? I think I used another new one called the Country Birdhouse. And I used this one hoping you have the best day ever. And this is another cute set. I'm going to be working with this one next. So stay tuned for that. I also got the happy birthday that I used on the inside from Beautiful Balloons. And I love this one as well. I think this one may be retiring. I believe it is. But you do have until May. So the other thing I wanted to let you know is the cardstocks are going up in price. So if you need some basic white, if you need some of the regular colors, if you can't buy the new in colors, but if you need last year's colors, grab those now before the prices go up. I believe the price is going to increase by $1 a pack. Don't quote me on that. I should have checked this before. I think the inks are going up. The ink refills are going up. Okay, the cardstock's $10 a pack in the old catalog, and in the new one, they are going up to $11.50, so $1.50 more. So if you're needing cardstock, I would say stock up now before the price increase. And also the retired list that is out, you can actually go and check that. And if you go to my site and look at all the products, anything that has a pink retired or retiring, that you can see whether it's been discounted or not. Not everything is. Some of the items are going to be moved over to the online exclusives. We don't know that yet, exactly what is moving and what isn't, but that would be a great time to go and check that out now and, maybe snag a bargain. The other thing I wanted to announce, I put up 3 videos last week, and the first one has stamp sets and dies and punches that have retired that I'm selling for an absolutely fantastic price. When you can get a stamp set and a die set for $25, that is a deal, because normally these run you anywhere from $48 to $54 for a set. So that is a great, great buy. I would say go and take a look through what I've got to offer. The videos, I have everything listed by dollar amount. You can fast forward through the video if you want to get to the stamps and dies, which are $25. I have some stamp sets that just the stamp set that are $5, some that are $10, some that are $12.50, some that are $15, and of course some that are $20, and some that are $25. So take a look at that. I also have a large assortment of new and used designer series paper. and those are discounted quite a bit. Most of them are $5 and $10, 5, 7.50 and $10. So go take a look at those as well. And I also have an array of ribbon that has been discounted. So do me a favor, go and take a peek at those items and see if you see anything you like. And if you do, just send me an email with what it is, the dollar amount, and your full name and mailing address. I'll calculate your shipping, I'll invoice you, and all you have to do is pay. You can pay from the invoice using a credit card, debit card, or your PayPal account. It also takes, I think, Venmo, some of the other pay apps like that. So anyway, I make it real easy for you to get payment to me. So anyway, with all that being said, let's move on to creating. Now with this card, I used real red and white. I used shaded spruce for my green, Highland heather, and lemon lolly. And I also used, I think that was the only colors I used. I have a peach pie here, but I don't know what I used peach pie for. I don't see where I used peach pie. We'll put that one away. What I want to do is I want to do this one, but I want to substitute these colors. And I thought, how pretty would it be to use the new colors that are Shy Shamrock and Petunia Pop. So I'm going to substitute these 4 colors for these 4 colors. And I think we're going to enjoy that. I think it's going to be really pretty. So I'm going to put these back up. And then we're going to grab some paper. And I have some pieces over here. I'm going to lay all of these markers because we won't need those for just a minute. What I want to do is take out this big stamp. And see how big that is? That's a nice size stamp. And I want to see if it's going to fit on this piece of paper. And it's not going to quite make it. Yeah, I'm going to need a bigger, we're going to need a bigger boat. We're going to need a bigger piece of cardstock. So I'm going to grab this piece. This will definitely accommodate it. But I want to cut that off because I don't want to have more than what I need to go into my stamping positioner. Oh goodness, I can't talk today. I'm out of practice. I am extremely tired because I had a trip to Virginia. I got back, I had jury duty, and then we had to do some shopping. I had a washing machine delivered, and it has just been, that's the reason I haven't gotten a video done this week. I have just been running, and running, and I have been extremely tired just from the running. So, I'm still dealing with whatever this is. I do see my doctor again next week, and hopefully he'll have some more answers for me. Because I don't feel like the hydroxychloroquine is helping. So we are going to have a discussion. I'm going to pull that off because I don't think I need that. But I'm going to lay this into my corner. I'm going to put one magnet there. And I'm going to position that so it's nice and even. And just go ahead and pick that up. Just like that. And then I'm going to use my memento because we're going to use some markers on this. So I'm going to grab the Memento Tuxedo Black and we're going to ink this up really good. You can see I scrubbed my ink on the edge there just a tiny bit. I'm just going to take my cloth and clean that up just a hair. And then let's go ahead and stamp this, give it a good press. And you can see it needs stamping again. Usually with the larger stamps, you're going to need a stamp positioning tool, especially if you're using alcohol markers and you need to use the Memento ink, you're definitely going to need to stamp this more than once. So let's try that again. The good thing about a positioner, and I'm using the Misty, and Stampin' Up! No longer carries the stamp apparatus due to patent issues. And so I am now using my Misty because I don't like to use products that you can't purchase anywhere. I have this listed in my Amazon store. So if you are interested in buying a stamp positioner and you shop with Amazon, which I think everybody does, if you would go over and click the link under this video or either on the PDF tutorial for the Misty. And there's two sizes. I have this one and I have the mini. And here's the mini. It is just a smaller version of this one. And most all card makers can get away with this one. But if you're doing something larger, you'll need a larger Misty for sure. So I'm going to concentrate now right on that flower in the middle because that's the one that doesn't seem like it's covering quite like I want it to. So I'm going to do a little bit of inking like that, just in that center. And give it a good press. And that is much better. So now I'm ready to take this out. And I am going to just give this a wipe. I'm going to take just a piece of notebook paper, anything that I can put down. I don't want ink to transfer on my silicone pad that I have in here. I'm just going to take a piece of any type of scrap paper you have, and I'm just going to lay it in there so that any ink transfers, it'll transfer on that paper, and I'll clean that stamp off after we finish the video. So now we have our beautiful roses. Aren't they pretty? And we're going to need to color those. But before we do, I'm going to let this dry just a little bit. So, because even with Memento, if you come in too quickly, you can get a little smudging. So we're going to let that hang out by itself. And we are going to grab a piece of petunia pop. That petunia pop's so pretty. It's pinky, purplish, I would say almost fuchsia. I love it. I think it's so beautiful. I'm going to cut a card base out of my white piece. So for my card base, I want it to be, I'm going to cut this piece in half on my 11-inch side. I got the 11-inch up at the top, and I'm going to cut it in half at 5 1/2. And that will give me 2 card bases. So I'm going to lay one over there because we're going to use that for our mats. Then I'm going to turn this, and I want to score this at 4 1/4. So it's 8 1/2, 4 1/4 will be halfway. So I'm going to score there. Then I'm going to pull it back to 2 1/8. 2 1/8 is half of 4 1/4. So that's another halfway mark. So it's going to be 2 1/4 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. And then when you take this out, we can fold this in half, and then we can fold, make sure you get your edges nice and even. And now that is your card base. The other thing we're going to need is we're going to need a mat for here and a mat for here, and that's going to be out of this petunia pop. So I'm going to cut this piece in half at 5 1/2. And why I always cut in half is because this gives me another card base should I need one. So out of this, I have 2 extra card bases. Now we are going to be using this other piece of white. I'm thinking, but I've got some scraps of white that we might be able to use. So I'm going to hang on to that because if I can save a card base, I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to do it. Now from this piece, I need a 2-inch strip. So I'm going to cut 2 inches, and I also need a piece that is 4 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that piece. And this is scraps. I'm going to lay that up there. Now we need to turn this around because I only need this to be 5 1/4. So we're going to cut a 1/4 inch off. And the same with this. We need this to be 5 1/4. And now we have our mats for the front. We could stamp this if you like. You could come in and did I measure that right? We need to take just about 1/8 off of that. This should have been cut to 1 7/8. Yeah, let's take 1/8 of an inch off of that. This trimmer is so nice and so precisioned that you can take tiny little shivers off very easily. Yeah, that's much better. And now let's check this one. Perfecto. All right, and these are going to go on like this, and that's going to form our card. Now, on the other card, I did a little bit of stamping, and I think I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So I'm going to use a tone on tone, and I'm going to grab the little flower right here, and we are going to stamp just over here and there, and you might want to take a couple of these little flowers and leaves. You could use any of those. You can use that as a filler. So now that I've got everything loaded up, I'm going to grab my Petunia Pop ink because I like to do a tone on tone. I think it's very pretty, and we're gonna do a little bit of stamping. Now I am going to take a piece of scrap paper, and I found a pack of notebook paper. And if you're looking for something real cheap, when school starts back, pick yourself up a couple of reams of notebook paper. It is a great way to have some scrap paper without costing an arm and a leg. I think we're done with that. Real simple, easy way to lay down some beautiful color and make your paper look like it is designer series paper when in actuality you just stamped that, and I love that. So you've got ink and you've got stamps, you can do so much. So I'm going to lay this over here. I am going to grab my stamp cleaner. This is highly pigmented ink. Any of your darker colors are. So I'm going to take my spray bottle and I'm just going to spray some water in here. And we're going to clean these up. Clean on this side and dry on this side. Nice and clean. They might be stained, but they are clean. This is the Stampin' Scrub, and if you have not picked up a Stampin' Scrub, you are doing yourself a disservice. It's a stamp cleaner that will last you a lifetime. And these pads come out where you can take them to the sink, clean them up, and you reuse them over and over and over. I've had this since I started with Stampin' Up, and I still It's my favorite way to clean um, my stamps. So that is done. So let's just move those over there. Now we're ready to go ahead and set this in here. So I'm going to use some liquid glue, and I am just going to run liquid glue on the back of my piece of petunia pop. Something like that. And you'll see me do this particular fold many times. This is not new. What is new is the colors with the new in color cardstock and the this particular stamp and die set. That is our new. So we're going to put this one down right here. This one doesn't look straight. That's much better. Then this is ready to go on right here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to put some liquid glue on the back of this. Love my liquid glue. And I get asked quite often, what glue do I use in my my glue gun? And I use art glitter glue, and I have a link for that. It's my favorite glue. It's not a Stampin' Up! Product. I wish it was, but it is my favorite glue, and that's what I use. All right, so our card base is pretty much done and ready to go. So we're gonna lay that over there. Let's bring our roses over, and I'm gonna bring out my petunia pop first, and I'm gonna take my light one, and I'm gonna use my brush tip. Now remember, when you're using a new marker, they're very juicy, so you want to be careful when you go next to your lines. So I'm just going to color, and you want to be very gentle with your brush tips. You don't have to bear down, you just barely touch. All right, we have the roses are completely colored. So now we can go in with our dark petunia pop. And this is where we're going to give it some depth. So I'm going to go in and just trace around all of these lines and any place that I want some depth of color. Then we're going to go back over it with the white, and we're just going to blend. Just kind of blend those darker lines into the light. And that will give you that depth of color that we're looking for. So we're going to do the same thing with the rest of these. So now we're ready to move into our greenery. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go in with my light, color all of my leaves, and then come back and outline them a little bit with the dark. All right, so now I'm going to go in with my lemon lolly, and I think I'm going with the darker one. And I'm going to use the bullet tip because I just want to do the center of the flowers. And then we're going to use the Highland Heather for the actual flower itself. And yeah, we have finished coloring this particular set. So all we need to do now is grab our die. Position it over our piece. Once we think we got it where we need it, then we're going to press down. Go adhere that to the paper. And I'm using those Post-it flags for that because they work beautifully. Bring up my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And we're going to start off with our one plate, a number 2 plate, which is for your die adapter, a number 3 very well loved cut plate. And then we're going to put our paper with our die, and then another number 3 plate over top. And then we're just going to crank it through. And this machine cuts like butter. It's very easy to crank. And it always does a beautiful job cutting pieces. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? So now for our outside, we need to use, and I am pulling in an oldie but goodie, the scallop contour dies, and I love these, and I believe these are retiring, which makes me very, very sad. And I'm going to use next to the largest and the next to the smallest. I mean, next to the one next to the largest and then one down. So we are going to bring back up our die cut machine, and we're going to cut these out. I'm going to go ahead and put that down there. And this one here, just to kind of hold that in place for me. You can see what I did here. I cut 2 that were this size and 1 out of the red that was the smaller size. So we're going to cut 2 like this. Let's go ahead and cut this one first. Seam sandwich. I'll pop this one out and lay it over here. And then we are going to grab another piece of white cardstock. And we're going to put this one here, like so. And I'm just going to whack this off. I don't see where we need all of this. So I'm just going to take my scissors and trim that off. Lay that there. And just a tiny bit of an angle. And we're going to push that back through. Like that. Then we're going to grab that petunia pop and we're going to cut the smaller one from it. So there's those 2. And then we need that piece of petunia pop, and let's see if this is going to fit If this will fit, it'll be great. If it doesn't, we'll just grab another piece. I think that's going to work. Let's try it and see. That'd be great if it does. I'm going to flip if you notice, I've got a little bit of well, that's starting to bow up. Anytime that happens, flip that cut plate over. Once you flip it over, flip this one every time. And you'll be surprised at how long your plates will last and they won't bow. Oh, yeah, we definitely got this out of this piece. Very pretty. All right, so we got all of our cutting done for that. We got our flowers cut, and I think we are good to go. Let me put this up. And now let's bring everything back out. Here is our pieces. So the first thing we want to do is we want to decide how we want to arrange our roses on here. And I am thinking something like that, like so. And then this piece is going to go inside with that piece on top of it. And that is going to hook in on our little mechanism that we're going to put in there. But before we do that, let's go ahead and put some dimensionals in the back of this. I thought I had some dimensionals out here that was already opened. Okay, maybe here they are. I knew I had a pack that I was using off of. So let's go ahead and take off several of these. I'm going to put one there, one right there, there, and there. Trying to decide how I want these and whether I've got my dimensionals in enough where they won't show. So we're going to come over just a little bit with that one. This one needs to come down just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and pull off our backers. And then this piece is ready to go on here. Like that. We just have to remember we really need to put glue on this side. So I'm gonna come down on that side. And then I'm gonna position this. Try to get it even top and bottom. Something like that. And now before we do this, we need to build a little piece, a little platform for that to sit on. You can do that any color, but since I've got the petunia pop in there, I'm going to use a piece of it. And we're going to need a piece that is 3 inches by 4 inches. 3 by 4. And then we're going to score this every inch. So we're going to have a score line at 1, 2, and at 3. And what this is going to allow you to do is you're going to fold all of your score lines, and this is going to come together inside for you to be able to put this on it. And that's what's going to give you that little floating panel on the inside. And like I said, I've made these before. They're not anything new. And to put this in, we're going to lay it flat like this, line it up through that score line, just like that. We're going to put some adhesive back here, and you can use your Stampin' Seal, but I would use the Plus. You can use liquid glue, or you can use both. So I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal Plus. And then some on this side. And then all we're going to do is fold that shut, and we're going to lay that right here in the center, right about there. Close this down on it. And when you open it up, you're going to have that little pop mechanism. How easy and simple was that? So now we're going to stamp on this because I want this to say happy birthday. So we are going to use the happy birthday right here. And we are going to put, I think for this one, I may just use the stamp set. I'm going to put happy birthday. And let's do, I'm going to come back and do that, but I want to stamp this in white or stamp it in Versamark. And we're going to do some heat embossing. So I'm going to grab a stamp block and I'm going to pick up my happy birthday. I think I'm going to take my chances. We're going to take our chances that this is anti-static. I'm living outside the box now. So I'm going to ink this up really good and then come in right about here. And happy birthday. I'm giving it a good press. Oops. There we go. That's a good happy birthday. When you can see it that well, we're going to get a good adhesion on this. So I'm going to grab my white embossing powder and I'm going to take my little spoon and I'm going to put that over it and tap it off. Look, I've got embossing powder right there. That's okay. We'll clean it up. All you need is a soft bristle brush and you can brush away any powder that's anywhere where you don't want it. And that's what I usually do. Oop. I just threw embossing powder everywhere. Oh, goodness. I think that's going to look really pretty once we heat set it. So let's go ahead and get that out of our way and grab my heat tool. And I'm going to heat this up just for a minute before I actually get ready to set it. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use one of these and I'm just going to wipe this down because I do not want to have embossing powder melted to my mat, my glass mat. So that will help assure that it's not. Now I'm going to start this up. It's going to be a little bit loud, maybe. right, that was quick and very easy. And heat embossing is so much fun, and it's really so simple to do. Now I want to use that petunia pop, and we're going to put a couple of these little frillies on here. These look like little streamers, and I think they're so cute. So I'm going to grab the small stamp block. We're going to do a tone on tone here, here, and here. I love that. I think it just kind of gives it a little, that little something extra, extra. All right, so now we're ready to glue this onto here. And I'm going to actually use my Stampin' Seal. And all we want to do is just center this inside this other frame, just like that. Now this is going to sit on here, and that little bit of petunia pop is going to pop out right there on the edge to get that little, isn't that cute? So that is where this is going to live. This is going to live right up here. And for that, I'm going to put liquid glue. And just sit this on. You want to make sure that it's lining up where you want it to. So bring it down. That is perfect. Give it a press. And there is your beautiful pop-up mechanism card. Isn't that so cute? And you can bend this both down and up, and this will sit on the desk and look beautiful just like that. Isn't that gorgeous? We're not done though, because I want to throw in some gems, and I'm going to use some of our new ones. These are the 2024 2026 in colors, and there's that petunia pop. Isn't it beautiful? We could also go with the shy shamrock. I'll do that one. I love the peach, but we didn't use any peach in here, so I think we're going to go with the petunia pop. And y'all know how I like to take mine out. I like to cut up the side. Did I not already do that? Evidently not. So I'm going to cut up my side, get that little tiny strip off. And then whenever I need these, I can just slide them out just like that. And I'm going to take my pick tool, and I'm going to put one right here. Right there. Just a little one. Right here. And maybe one more little one. Right about here. And now we need to do a little greeting across the front of it. And for that, I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock. I had this little scrap left over, so I'm going to cut this down. At 3/4 of an inch. And we're going to put, I think it's time for a celebration. be perfect if we can get it stamped there perfect. So I'm going to pick that up on a block. And we are going to grab that petunia pop. I want to do the shamrock. I think it'll show up better in the shamrock. Let's do shamrock. And that kind of gives you that play on the green, which I think just accentuates everything. So let's ink that up. I think I like that. Now what I want to do is I'm going to cut off about to here. Maybe here. And I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to make a bit of a banner out of this, but I think I'm going to cut this down. Like that. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to snip in. And then I'm going to snip from this corner to where that comes in. And the same way here. And then just pull those out. And we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to snip in. And then I don't want to do that one straight. Maybe I'll do this one straight. Yeah, I think I like that better. And then we can put this right across here. And all I need is a little bit of glue right here in the middle. Right there. I like that. So there is us a very festive, very pretty birthday card. I think it's time for a celebration. Happy birthday. I hope y'all have enjoyed the making of this card and you've enjoyed this new um, bundle that is called Layers of Beauty. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. You can do so much with this. And even though the scallops are going away, there's the deco rectangles are still there. Posted, what's it called? Postage stamp, I think is still there. Um, so there are a lot of rectangles that are still available to us in our new Stamping Up catalog. So we'll be able to find something to make our cards beautiful no matter what. So God bless and keep you. And I thank you so much for tuning in. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Savior. He is worthy. Jesus paid it all. Until we craft again, God bless and keep you. Bye.